Market Access 4.0.
Welcome here to our new joint webinar of RCP, Mars, and Helpware Tech. Today we have a wonderful topic. It's the best practice in dossier creation, and that in the context of rapid commercialization. And we want to talk today about the use of AI to unlock efficiency and optimize development. So our panel today is from Germany, Dr. Stefan Walzer, who's the CEO and founder of Mars Market Access and Pricing Strategy GmbH in Germany. Hello, Stefan.
Hello, Lutz. Hello, everybody.
Also, we have on the line here Aleksey Zavgorodniy, who's Vice President and IT Consulting in Helpware Tech from the UK. Hi, Alex.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
And then from the US, out of Cambridge, Massachusetts, here Christina Ansted, who's the CEO and founder of Rapid Commercialization Partners, and Kevin Mayo, who's the Senior Vice President of Global Market Access and Health Economics. Hi to the US. Hi, Christina. Hi, Kevin.
Great to be here with our strategic partners.
Perfect.
Glad to be here.
My name is Lutz-Michael Vollmer, and I will be your moderator today. So, when we talk about excellence in early commercialization readiness, so what is actually here the key point, Christina? Why we are talking today about dossier creation?
It's a great question. So it's long been studied that excellence in commercialization readiness drives value. And what that means is preparing for commercialization earlier and doing things that can optimize and increase the benefit and the outcomes. And one of those things is market access, and notably the pursuit of the dossier, which is a very complex and time-consuming effort. But it's often one that is delayed until later on in development, sometimes as late as phase 3. And there are benefits when you do something as complex as a dossier creation earlier, as early as phase 1. And this is where having that commercialization expertise, where market access and reimbursement is part of that equation, as early as possible. So if we go to the next slide. This is an example of the commercialization roadmap that is very typical within biotech. And you can see that there's many things that you can and should be doing to prepare for commercialization along that journey. And even as early as the preclinical or phase 1 stages, there are things that you can do to lay the foundation, what we would arguably call the fundamentals for commercialization readiness, that really have an impact on those commercialization outcomes. And certainly with regard to patient and market access, doing those things earlier again, impact those outcomes. And one of those is the value dossier creation. And this is an area where Kevin has particular expertise. So Kevin, I'd love your thoughts in this area in terms of what's the importance of beginning early with the creation of the value dossier?
Thanks, Christina. I think I understand that the reason why our clients sometimes want to wait until they get the publications of their phase 3 trials. And so you have the definitive data set to develop your dossier from. But I think they lose a lot of strategic value. That the clients that we worked with that started much earlier were able to bring together cross-functional teams and really sit down and come up with value messages that they wanted to reflect in their dossier and use it as a strategic tool, really starting as early, even prior to phase 1 in some cases, looking at the burden of illness and really documenting that and coming up with citations that can be used consistently across the company. I remember one time myself when I was on the manufacturing side, I was in front of a payer and he threw down 7 different publications from our company, which all had vastly different epidemiological estimates. And his concern, if it was 10 patients, I'm not concerned about the budget impact. If it's hundreds of thousands of patients, I'm very concerned. And so I'm very happy to introduce our strategic alliance partners today. And to talk about the value of using AI to develop dossiers.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Yeah, I think, Kevin, that's a great point. And I would think that as you're starting earlier, the other value, sort of pun intended, is the fact that you can create those connection points and you can build on a complex document earlier so that it grows with the company, so that all of those individuals who are going to be using and referring to the dossier really understand what the components are, and that you're being able to draw those conclusions collectively as a group, and therefore create more impact from creation of that value dossier versus trying to do all of that heavy lifting at once in a shorter period of time.
Yes, I would agree, because one of the other concerns I've seen, if you wait until after phase 3 to develop a very large document, oftentimes the people who are meant to utilize it in your countries don't have the time to read through hundreds to thousands of pages of a document, depending on which country it's being prepared for. And so a lot of times you lose that opportunity to get feedback, robust discussion, and alignment cross-functionally across the organization.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great point. I think that some of the biggest struggle is, how do you collate all of these different resources and how do you pull them together, and where do you begin? And I think that's a great conversational start for the use of how do you incorporate AI, but make it purposeful. And I think that's a great part of our conversation today, is in the effort to optimize and create efficiency using AI, but doing it in a very thoughtful way. Maybe Stefan, you could comment on your thoughts regarding the how do we best use AI in the context of a dossier creation?
Yeah, let's go to Stefan with the next slide. So Stefan, I mean, we heard from Kevin that it's a time issue. Why is creating a dossier so challenging for people, like for consultants or for pharma companies in that time frame?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think Christina and Kevin have already, let's say, brought up already a couple of maybe hurdles instead of issues, right? I mean, one of the things is obviously, yes, of course, it's a bit of an investment question with respect to publication, with respect to data availability, but ultimately there are a lot of other, let's say, items which make, let's say, a dossier creation really expensive and also time consuming. But I think there are a couple of different things, maybe just let's say put that on a table. I mean, it is very time consuming because let's say at the end of the day, even if you rush through the development of a huge kind of, let's say, dossier, you might still need maybe roughly a year for example, a global value dossier, maybe even longer, right? I mean, we have seen the bigger kind of indications when you have, I don't know, 3, 5, 7 different RCTs, you might even take longer, obviously. The other point, obviously, what you have as well already mentioned beforehand, it might be really extensive documents. I mean, 3,500 pages for a German dossier, which is maybe just one of the country dossiers. You need it, of course, whoever have, let's say, been dealt with market access issues knows that you need for every country or for every region and country, and sometimes even a local kind of entity, a specific kind of, let's say, dossier. So this is really very time consuming, not even to, let's say, think and speak about, let's say, the communication, the coordination of further experts and personnel inside the company, but obviously also outside. So it has different components. It is a bit of an issue. And of course, I've just mentioned different jurisdictions, different dossiers, different dossier types. Hence, that's also a language restriction, especially when you think about Europe. So when we basically have, let's say, spoken and also thought about how to, let's say, really work and utilize AI in the creation and the development, the writing of dossiers, we have obviously thought about those kind of issues and came up with a solution which we basically call DOBO. So DOBO is really using AI to enable efficient and fast dossier creation. So fast is obviously important, but also the efficiency. So what you could have, just as an example, right, there are different ways how you could really utilize DOBO. You can have, for example, a Kickstart dossier within a week, meaning you can basically sort of shrink down the start of the dossier development once you have all of your literature search, for example, and everything together, instead of, let's say, waiting 4, 5 months, 6 months of time in order to start really reviewing strategy, thinking about it, to really that 1 week, which is obviously as well coming up with significant monetary savings, direct costs, meaning the cost to the dossier development, but also indirect costs, if we want to call it as health economists, which are obviously as well with respect to the personnel of, let's say, further export. And finally, there's also the opportunity when you would be thinking about DOBO, let's say, with us, but also with all of our strategic partners, obviously, to get the support for the countries or for the, maybe rather call it the dossier type, what you need. So there are and is an experienced market access team behind, which is also then available for the different steps you further need in order to finalize maybe your dossier.
And how does it work?
Exactly. That would have been my next kind of point. It sounds maybe a bit easy, right? But obviously, you still need to take, let's say, Dobo, so the AI, as your, let's say, partner, as you are probably as well thinking about your current human medical writers, which are still needed, right? Because you still need to have the strategic input and everything. But what are the steps, right? So the first step is still, and I think you have seen that as well on the slide of Christina beforehand, you need to provide the evidence, right? There are different other AIs available, and we can maybe as well touch base very briefly when we speak with Alex as well. But there is, for example, the system at Lutz-Michael, what is still needed. You need to have the different kind of plans and reports, depending a bit when you want to start, right? That's also a bit of a question. We now have the clinical study report, but as Kevin said, we could also start earlier, right? And maybe then the study report is not yet available, but you maybe start with different parts of the dossier at different time points. But just imagine you might be doing it a bit more traditional, let's say, then you would obviously have as well the clinical study report available. Meaning you have the evidence, then you would need to choose the dossier type within Dobo. So currently it's, for example, a global value dossier, it's a US AMCP dossier, EU joint HTA, German AMNOG. I think we're currently as well working on an Italian version, a French version, and a couple of others. So choose that one. And after that, obviously, let's say, upload everything into the system. Either, let's say, let us press, let's say, the button and you get the Kickstart dossier then within a week. Or obviously, if somebody wants to use it themselves, they could obviously as well do it on their own, on their kind of, or let's say, within their IT infrastructure. And after, let's say, a couple of hours, you have that dossier then available. So that's basically how, and let's say, how we also utilized and worked and now develop basically as well the dossier, which is called Dobo.
And how about data security? Let's move to Alex. I mean, you're the tech expert here from Helpware Tech. So having AI in mind, I know that it's somewhere in the cloud and I don't want to upload my confidential data up in the cloud, right?
Yeah, that's the great question, and great answer is that with Dobo you actually don't have to. Being for the past 20 years the technology partner for the pharma industry, we actually recognize the importance of the data privacy and building each and every solution with this privacy and security in the core by design. So while implementing Dobo, we actually changed the model from the well-known and most popular model where the large language model sits in the cloud and you have to upload, in order to interact with that, you have to upload each and every piece of the data to the cloud. And actually, it allows itself to learn from each and every data it works with. We reversed the approach and we used the offline version and pre-trained model, which can actually work on premise even without access to the internet. So your data never leaves the perimeter of your organization, and you're not uploading it to the cloud. You're uploading it to some server within your company. That eliminates by design any risk of data breaches or data unintentionally being available to wider audience than it intended to be available to. Then the second part of the solution is that even if you're running concurrently several projects and doing several dossiers concurrently, each and every project is stone walled. So there is a Chinese wall, and the information even within one organization is not shared across the projects, which is also very important for the companies who do dossiers as a service for their clients. So they can be sure that, again, by design, there is no intentional leaks between the clients of the same organization. Also, every part of the user journey in the Dobo system is secure, starting from the logins, and each and every interaction with the data within the system is logged and is accounted for. So you have full control of the data and visibility, who access this data, who uses that, who makes the changes, etc., etc. So everything is backtraceable, and that actually 4 pillars which makes Dobo perfectly secure and enterprise grade ready. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That was a really nice explanation of that complicated topic of data security. Well, wrapping it up, Christina, what do you think from your point are the key points?
Yeah, happy to review. I think for us, we're excited to work with our clients to be able to enable technology like Dobo, understanding what it can do to simplify a very complex process that can sometimes be overwhelming for clients and biotech companies as they prepare for dossier development. And I think it's important to remember that beginning earlier is the best path forward for success. You know, arguably around phase 2, or as Kevin mentioned, even earlier in the preclinical phase, so that the dossier can grow with the company and be added to over time as data becomes available. You can leverage it for other functions like strategic planning tools that Kevin discussed earlier. It can align with key value messages. So there's incrementally more value gained by starting earlier and building on that dossier. As you go, you create something arguably that is more comprehensive with quality, as opposed to just comprehensive with a lot of data that maybe the company itself might not be aware of everything that's within that document. And then again, incorporating use of AI is important, but doing it in a very responsible manner so that you're using technology that is secure and is proven and has a way to really move the path forward from an efficiency standpoint in terms of the development of the dossier.
Wonderful. Thank you. So for more information, feel free to contact us here. So there's RCP Bio, Rapid Commercialization Partners, www.rcpbio.com. And thank you, Christina Ansted, for joining us today. And also thank you, Kevin Mayo, for joining us today from Cambridge, Massachusetts.
The pleasure.
Then, if you have more questions or you need more answers on data security, on the tech line behind it, go to Helpware Tech, https://helpware.tech. And thank you, Aleksey, today for joining us here. And if you have any questions or you need help with that, I mean, that's the name of the company, Helpware Tech. Writes Aleksey Zavgorodniy at az@helpware.tech. And thank you, Alex, for joining us.
Thank you very much.
And last but not least, if you want to try out the Dobo, just join https://marketaccess4-0.com. Go to Mars Market Access and Pricing Strategy in Germany and get your appointment with Dr. Stefan Walzer. And you can reach out Stefan at the email address stefan.walzer@marketaccess-pricingstrategy.de. And thank you, Stefan, also for joining us today and showing us the Dobo.
Thank you all.
Well, folks, my name is Lutz-Michael, and that's it for today. Join us with your next webinar and with our next webinar. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Market Access 4.0.